What's the worst injury you've ever had? Have you had any bad injuries skiing, or you've been pretty?
Oh, I've had a list. You got time?
Yeah, we got time, man.
Is it longer than my list? Is the question.
It might be.
So you want me to start head down or feet up?
Feet up.
You pick. Feet up. Pat goes feet up.
All right. So feet up. I have sprained both of my ankles at least 4 times each.
Yeah.
I've done my meniscus, so like nothing too bad down here. I've needed meniscus surgery, and they had to cut out 40% of my meniscus and stitch the rest back together. So I have 60% of my lateral meniscus on my right leg. And then moving up the body, I have 3 compression fractures in my lower 2 vertebrae from water ramping and hitting aerial jumps for so long.
That's another one.
Because you used to go to the
Old Placid one.
Lake Placid,
yeah, because we used to go there too. We spent a lot of time there.
Hell yeah, dude. I lived like 20 minutes away from there.
I remember the first time I went there, a guy on my team did a carving cork 5 on the big air jump to the right, and he like landed on the stairs, like in the water. He like landed on the stairs. He was okay because there was like this much water, and you know how much the skis absorb of that. And I was like, remember watching that, and he had a water bottle so that he could hand drag with it, and I was like, dude, I'm never doing that ever. Don't go right.
One time, my first time there, my first year on the team, I was trying to be like that kid, right? And I was trying to impress everybody, and they had that big rock climbing wall there, and you could jump off the top.
That's Beauport, not Placid.
Oh, Beauport. Yeah, I'm talking about Beauport, yeah. But you've been to Beauport, too.
I've been there, too, a bunch, yeah.
And, yeah, I tried to do a triple Misty off there, and I had no clue what I was doing. And I, like, did 2.5 and fully just, like, sausage rolled to my stomach, and I was, like, just dead in the water. That was not fun.
I've spent a lot of time on those ramps. Most people hated them. I actually enjoyed it. Like
I didn't mind it.
The Beauport one, the bubbler you never used because we're not aerialists. We always overshot the bubbles. From you hit the triple top down. I used to do branny backs on the triple top down and just gap all the bubbles and fracture everything.
It's easily like the biggest jump I've ever hit not on snow.
Yeah.
Like any training venue, like that's the biggest jump. I've actually there to get back into my list. I was trying a triple flat there, and I landed on my chest, and I just started coughing up blood.
Yeah.
And popped a bunch of capillaries in my lungs, and I still have like scars.
That sucks. That's a gnarly one.
Dude, yeah, I think everybody that's ramped there has a couple stories of like just getting clapped by the bubbles.
I remember I was doing right dub 10 and 12 mutes, and I decided to do one on the triple. And I like floated as like one of the last jumps today. I locked into the mute real high, coming down to 12. And I just didn't let go of the mute and wrapped to 14, and like would have bolts landed it on snow because like the landing is slow, slightly inclined, and I missed all the bubbles. Like I went huge, like as big as I could go. I always went as big as I could go, and I remember sitting in the water, hearing like radio static, floating, and everything was purple and green. And I was just getting out of the water, and I was like, that was not good.
Yeah, dude, water ramping is very gnarly if you don't land.
I didn't usually have any I never
It was
really.
fun. I just hated it because I had to spend an entire summer learning right corks there, and I could not right cork, and I just was doing like right 540s to my stomach, right 540 to my stomach for like an entire summer, and that wasn't fun.
Yeah,
I never had any big.
Anyways,
big ones,
working up from there. What else you got?
Working up from there.
I
think this was 3 or 4 years ago now. This is my worst injury, just letting you know. This is the worst one. So I dislocated both of my clavicles and my sternum and a rib at one time.
Jesus.
That doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, so, like, this whole area of my body was, like, not existent.
How'd you do that one?
I did a switched up 9 and caught tips, but I caught tips sideways instead of forwards. And my shoulder, like, drove into the ground, and my clavicle shot across my body and, like, knocked my sternum out of place and knocked a rib out of place. And both of my clavicles were just, like, in limbo. And, like, my shoulders, they touched in front of me.
Oh my God.
That's not good.
And they, like, touched each other. And then when I opened back up, I felt everything, like, snap back into place.
Oh, wow. I would not want to do that.
So on a pain scale, how much did that hurt?
Yeah.
That was, like... that had to be a 9. Like, I don't claim a 10, but it was a 9.
Like, mine didn't hurt that much. Like, when I had my bad accident, it was numb. Like, I couldn't feel my legs.
Probably in shock.
I was in shock. Like, it hurt. But, like, it wasn't like I was on the ground in pain rolling around. It hurt for a minute, and then I was just sitting there shaking and couldn't feel anything.
Yeah, that's how it was. And then what made it, like, the worst pain ever was they put me in a neck brace for it,
Oh.
and I was in a neck brace for like an hour and a half, and I was sitting in the ski patrol room, and like this 80-year-old man like smoking a pipe walks into the room, and he goes, "What'd you do?" And I like told him, and he goes, "Well, why are you in a neck brace?" And he like rips the neck brace off of me, and I just like felt this relief. But then he like saw how swollen my neck was, and he was like, "I've only seen this like one other time in my life, so like we're getting you to the hospital." And like then the ambulance guy put me back in a neck brace for another, like 2 hours until another doctor came in and was like, "Why are you in a neck brace?" I'm like, "I tried to tell him, dude." But like it just made my neck so stiff that I couldn't turn like any part of my head. Like my head was cemented looking forward for like 3 days.
That would be brutal.
Yeah, and I couldn't get out of bed the morning after I did that because I couldn't push down on my arms because like you don't even realize, but you're using this
all the time. Anytime you move your arms, is all in there. Yeah,
all in here. And like I couldn't move for like a day.
That's a brutal one.
So how long did that take to heal up?
That was 4 weeks to like heal back to being able to like ski around, and then like another 2 to being 6 weeks to do tricks again after that.
That's a substantial one.
Yeah, that does not sound fun.
I've never really.
And then on top of that, I have separated or dislocated both of my shoulders 7 times on each.
Oh god.
Oh my god, dude! I dislocated my shoulder this year for the first time, and it sucked. And I have not done it 7 times. So
I've never done.
I haven't dislocated 7 times. I've subluxed like I've only dislocated fully once, but I've subluxed like 14 times in all.
I've torn my supraspinatus in both shoulders a couple times, which is, but like I've never dislocated my shoulders. Those sucked. Like I did a switch 5 in New Zealand and just kind of dragged my arm just a little bit, and it just tore. And then I like missed. I didn't miss that much because it wasn't a full tear, but it hurt a lot for like a few days.
I torn this shoulder from my dislocation. It's like right here.
Does it ever pop out or?
I've just been doing a lot of band exercises, which pretty much reverse anything that you do if you do enough of them. So, like, when I did it, I didn't think I would be doing push-ups, like, as normally as I ever was. Yeah. But, like, I'm back doing push-ups normally. Like, I can do pull-ups, I can do handstands again. Like,
how did you do that? Like, what injury? Was that skiing related as well?
Yeah, I was actually hitting an urban rail.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Like, all season. And we were looking for this spot, and my friend just go, "Yo, I know a 6 kink with an elbow," and I'm like, "I'm in."
That's your first mistake.
Oh, Jesus
Christ. Dude, that was my mistake right there. And like first hit, I like just caught on the paint because I didn't scrape it off on the kink enough.
That was your second mistake.
Yeah, I made 2 mistakes, and I caught on the kink, like switch nutted kind of like under my thigh, and then just like flipped onto like my shoulder and like cartwheeled over my arm like that.
Oh.
Yeah, that sucks. I had one like that. We were trying to hit an urban rail in Perry Sound actually, and it wasn't like a super gnarly one, but I tried to right 2 onto it and I didn't have enough speed, so I literally did a right 180 to my sack.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And there's a video of me just like hopping around like this, holding my balls. So like, I had a bruised. Like somehow my balls didn't hit, but like my gooch hit, like just my gooch.
Because you're going backwards, right? So when you're moving.
And I was like. And I'm like just short enough that my skis are like 4 inches from touching the ground. So like gooch was bruised for like a week and I couldn't sit down. Outside of that, I was like, I was pretty good. But yeah,